6, who the F did I almost date? I had to get a snack and a drink for this part. Trigger warnings, I'm being dead serious, like SA, domestic violence, minors involved. This story has been kind of funny. It's been kind of like a joke. This part is not funny. So if you don't want to hear some crazy, kind of disturbing stuff, then scroll now. Also, I feel like I need to say something about this really quickly, but like in all this time when Rob and I are talking, he's telling me all about his kids and like all that kind of stuff, and also telling me how excited he is to meet my kids, how he really would love to be a stepdad, and like how he would be involved in my kids' lives and stuff like that. And that is important, and you'll see why. I saved these documents for years because I am a lawyer and we have receipts for everything. So I'm thumbing through our online court system. The next case I come to after the speeding ticket is for domestic violence, specifically a restraining order from about 18 months prior from his ex-wife against him. Now, I am a lawyer, so I am intimately familiar with the court system and how someone can make allegations without proof and get a restraining order or something like that temporarily and it ultimately be dismissed. So I'm a little weirded out seeing it, but I'm not like overly concerned about it. And I also did not immediately dig into the details. Then I go to the next two cases. 2 more restraining orders from 2 different women, not his ex-wife, since his divorce. And I'll be danged if I ain't reading the details on those, because that's me. The details were extremely disturbing. They involved pew-pews and stalking and harassment. Yeah. And I'll tell you why this was so concerning to me. Like, again, you can make allegations and you can get a temporary restraining order, but it's difficult to get a judge to grant a more permanent restraining order without a lot of proof. The judge had given all of these women more permanent restraining orders. These 2 other women he had met on Hinge. They had kids. They went on dates with Rob. They thought Rob was great. Rob was not, in fact, great. He became obsessive. He was obsessed with these women and their children. He would sit outside their homes. He would follow them to work. He would sit in the parking lot of their work all day until they got out and try to talk to them. He had only met these women's children a handful of times, and every time these women like started to not like him and realized that he was a creep and try to break things off, Rob would try to use these women's children to stay in their lives. Like, your kids need a dad. You can't raise them as a single mom. You're just destroying your kids' lives by not letting a man like me help you raise your kids. And from what it seemed like to me and like what the timing seemed like with the cases, it's like he wouldn't release one of his victims from everything that was going on until he found another victim. Then he had like a new toy to play with. But do you want to know what is insane? This is not even close to the worst thing I found on that man that night. This video is already really long, so go to part 7 of Who the F Did I Almost Date?